Yo. Yeah.
There is a large platoon of Grenier Marines stationed here. Leave no one standing. Void Fishers, you need them to open a relic, but are you confident you can withstand their fury? You're near a fissure. The corrupted enemies are dropping reactant. Collect it to open your Void Relic. You are going to need more reactant if you want to open that relic. Stay focused. There's a heavy unit approaching. Keep moving. None of the scanners have detected you. You have broken their ranks and they are on the run. Another successful mission. Find extraction. The relic has been cracked open. Finish your mission to find out what's inside. Mission complete. Excellent work, Tenno.
Crowd your supply cache in the area. You get near, it will start ticking. Self-destruct. Need to be quick to get the goods. Supply cache flipped into self-destruct. It works, see? Fewer fervon charges your pocket. But know this. Open that thing and the tech rot will get riled up crazy.
Tekrot's awake, hungry, taking on a new form. I think it's trying to become the online boys?
Halfway there. On the job, no quit. Tekrot's proper pissed off. Hitters coming out of every nook and crook. I say, let him come.
She can make people a little crazy. But I'm lucky I've got my nose to the ground.
Sent the tech rock back to the Stone Age. Now bring it home, fam.
muscles are pumped.
Always a pleasure. Let's get back to it.
Drives. Hey, can I get a spot from you?
Please select destination. Plotting route.
What's up, Charles? What's up, man? Just realized it was that chat was over there.
Yo! Supply cache Quickie. A fervent charge or two will melt that lot proper.
Yeah, I do have class here
Calm down.
shortly, but it's I only have a single class today.
Tekrod's proper pissed off. Hitters coming out of every nook and crook. I say, let them come. Over and out, fam. Job's a good one. Nice one.
Sorry, bud. Didn't mean to kick you. Kick you in your butt. Have you checked out any of my recent streams? I know they're not gaming and gaming centric, and they're more or less real life, but I've been doing a lot of real IRL streaming. Not really IRL, just talking about the shit that's going on that
Please select
people are still not wanting to pay attention to.
plotting route.
But quite a few videos up on YouTube. Every one of my past broadcasts gets sent over to YouTube. And I send them from Twitch to YouTube because Twitch is Twitch has like 2 weeks. It's like you get 2 weeks to do something with your video on Twitch, and then they disappear it. They Hillary Clinton it off the face of the earth. So I've just been dumping everything over to YouTube. I tried to go back and do clips and stuff out of it, but that's very, very time consuming. And seeing as I'm back in class, I don't really have a ton of time to do it. But yeah, my YouTube page is getting pretty thick with videos. It's funny because the other day I talked about Jim Carrey, who has never been crazy. He's only ever been telling the truth, and people have been discounting him for years. And with all this Epstein stuff that's come out, it's proven that he's not been crazy. He's been right all along. And there are those of us that have been like behind him pretty much 100%. And yet it's still one of those things where people are still not wanting to, because it's very outrageous. All the stuff is so outrageous, and it's purposely outrageous because normal people aren't going to believe it. The stuff is so outrageous that normal people aren't wanting to believe that stuff. They're not wanting to believe their favorite Hollywood actor and politician is involved in a sex crime ring. Like, nobody wants to hear that. That undoes everything that they've ever thought about anything for their whole lives. Their entire 60 years of existence has been nothing more than a lie fabricated by evil people. Like, people don't really want to hear that. So I've been kind of mocking it, making fun of it, and talking about it at the same time, because that's ultimately what needs done. Like, it's all so outrageous that those of us that have been paying attention to it and driving ourselves crazy for the last 20 years, all we can do is sit back and laugh now, because the I told you so's aren't gonna land. They're not gonna land. Well, it looks like I wasn't crazy the whole time. That's not gonna land well with anybody. But it does feel good. It feels good. Especially when I watch people like Asmon, who have only ever mocked his mother. Now he's like, I could wait until I get to the afterlife, because all I'm going to hear from her is, I told you so. I told you so. You should have listened. It's funny. It's funny watching people like Asmongold being woke up to true power and what true evil in the world looks like. And it's one of those things that they can make it a religious thing all they want. But it's so far beyond religion that even the religious people just don't even know what to make of it. They're so confused how their God can allow this stuff to just continue on and happen. And a lot of religious people still have the same thing that they're saying. Well, it's part of God's plan. God ushered it in so that good people can fight it. And it's been the same denial excuse from all the religious people. Which is why I'm like, yeah, I don't care. Bring it all down. Our country will survive. Our country's made of its people, not of its politicians. So if this destroys the highest levels of our country, so be it. So be it. We need it taken down and fixed, and we need to heal. We need to heal and repair, and we can't do that when we're hiding behind our worst faults. And we're letting people hide behind their worst faults.
too much mental today. Like this. See? My ass is out here on the line too. Marking extraction. Use it when you need it, but only if you need it.
Right now, I'm just working on a hex quest. Not really a quest. It's just like one of their little things to get some passive. It gives you a passive when you complete it. So that's what I'm doing. Doing the melee one for one of their seasonal. And it's not really, it's not really seasonal. Well, a lot of us have been saying it. Me and my brother have had this conversation so many times, and he doesn't think it's possible for the type of catastrophic event that it needs to take place to wake people up. But that's what it is. It's a legit catastrophic event that far surpasses COVID, far surpasses the 2008 housing crash. Like, I hate to say it because it sounds very nihilistic and very like anti-American, but it's going to take America being attacked. It literally will take the United States of America being attacked by an actual foreign entity that is here to actually do us harm. And it's not like some false flag thing like the Bush is set up and shit like that. That's not what it is. It's not what's going to take us. Like, we'll know it's false flag, so it's not going to be what wakes us up. What actually wakes us up is somebody who is tired of America's shit to the point where they don't care if they lose. They want to prove a point. And we might think that something like 9/11 can be another one, but we already know that something like 9/11 was used almost 50-50 in a rally Americans behind our cause. We need to go into the Middle East, and that's what that was. It was a rally the troops, rally the citizens, so that they don't ask questions when we invade these foreign countries in the Middle East. And we will be able to, we've already seen how their tactics work in that space. I mean, let's face it, their tactics have become so blundering that we're able to quickly tell psyop, 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 psyop. So we won't fall for these tactics again. Like, it's not like Bush saying, you fooled me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on me again. Fool me 3 times, shame on everybody. It's not that. It's a, you fooled it. You fooled us. You fooled our parents. Okay, you fooled us. It won't happen again. It will not happen again. We're at the point where we're so vigilant with this stuff that we won't accept even a whole truth until we see all the evidence backing it's a whole truth. We're tired of the mixed signals, the Bondi style hearings where it's just them playing theater back and forth with one another. Exactly. Foreign interests understand the mission now. They know that in order to get America rallied up, they just got to do something to us. They got to do something to us, whether it's a psyop or whether it's real. They know that to get America on their heels, they just got to do something to us. An empire toppled by its enemies can rise again, but one which crumbles from within, dead forever. You are right. And that's what's happening to us. And it's not really like they're trying to kill America. No, they're trying to kill the patriot. Because America isn't its politicians, it's not its corporations, it's not McDonald's, Burger King, Amazon. That's not America. America are the the patriots, the people who stand for the country and even its most ignorant of people, as well as the ignorant people who are keeping capitalism at the highest order. These are the people that make America. And when they're being driven to fight amongst one another, to kill each other, to hate each other, to completely divide as if there is a chasm within the middle of them, creating a hard divide. We're all still America. The disagreements, the fights, the crime, it's all still America. But when we start throwing America away is when we start allowing foreign stuff to make a hard impact. Like, it goes back to what I was trying to say about Iran. People were taking that as some, you only care about Iran, you don't care about the people here. It's not that I care about the people of Iran. It's the ideologies that are, like, people are wanting to fight against fascism here, but not looking across the water and seeing what true modern day fascism looks like. That's what I do. I'm doing is pointing to it. Like, if you really want to fight fascism, then you probably want to see what fascism actually is, and that's what goes on in the Middle East. That's actual fascism in the Middle East. ICE agents running around with masks on, hiding their identities because they don't just receive death threats. They receive actionable intel death threats. So they actually have people coming to their homes and trying to kill them. They have people showing up to their jobs trying to kill them. So what they're doing at the behest of the American people, the larger population of the American people, isn't fascism. Now, you have some ignorant people in the bunch, but that's literally normal. That's normal of anybody who gets given a small inkling of power and they let that power go to their head while being paid big money to do it. But it's also part of the conversation that while, yes, you might see it as fascism and totalitarianism and all this other stuff where you feel like your life is being infringed upon, it takes one action, and that action is to stop, step back, and just stand there. If you stand there and watch what's happening and nobody comes up to snatch you up and arrest you, then you could probably rule out fascism, because just being present in the area in the moment is enough for a fascist regime to say, you're part of it, you need to be taken care of, you need to be dealt with. That's how fascism works. They don't let people stand idly by. They don't tell you, stand on the sidewalk, protest, and don't impede us. A fascist isn't going to say that. A fascist isn't going to give you warnings to do fascism stuff. Like when they say, you say you're gangster, but you ain't doing the gangster shit. Fascists do the gangster shit. They speak the gangster, they do the gangster. We don't see that here. We see some political divide that's amped up one side into sensationalizing what they think fascism is, and they've perpetuated that to their underlings, which is why I say this whole America infighting is built on a tier system. It's both sides doing it to their respective side. The top side is amplifying and sensationalizing the rhetoric to their immediate underlings. Those immediate underlings are doing the same thing to everybody underneath them. They're all being paid down to a certain point. When you start to get into the greater populace of people, that's when the payment stops. Because they don't need to pay hundreds of thousands of people to go out and act a fool. They just need to pay 7 or 8 people on down this ladder who incite and who activate the hundreds of thousands of people. That's why when you have somebody on the right who's taking something that we're saying, oh, it's all paid, they're paid agitators, they're all paid agitators. Those idiots have no idea what they're talking about. They're taking a Reddit conversation and trying to turn it into some news spin. And that's not what's happening. When us, the true folk of knowledge, say something like, this is a paid agitation. A lot of these people are paid. We're not saying hundreds of thousands of people are being paid. We're saying that there's 7 people being paid on a ladder to incite and activate everybody that's on the ground. And that is literally what we're saying. We're not saying thousands and hundreds of thousands of people are being paid to agitate. No. It's this side's paying their agitators. This side's paying their agitators. It's all being perpetuated to keep the conversation off where it really belongs. And that's the actual bringing down of American values. Some of the things that they're trying to do that aren't necessarily going to cause people to wake up, which is why they're doing them through a cheesecloth. They're sifting a lot of it through a cheesecloth, is to censor us. To legally be illegally allowed to censor us. Discord starting. They're back in their rounds of trying to dismantle Section 230. So they're back on their train of dismantling free speech, which they need to. That's one of the things, in order to keep people from waking up, they have to dismantle free speech. They have to enact some type of hardcore censorship to where people like me can't get on the internet and question anything. I can't go and do a stream like I did last night, calling out the entirety of the Bondi hearing being nothing more than more theater being put on by bad actors. The entire hearing was a clown show. And I plan to get into it after class. It's just once I get into that stuff, I'll be like this. I'll look over, and 4 hours have passed. I don't have 4 hours right now. I have probably another hour and a half, and that's about it. Nothing. And that's another thing I've been saying is, as much sensationalization as they've been doing for all of this, before the hearings, leading up to the hearings, and Thomas Massey, I said his name wrong yesterday. I said Steve Massey, who was an old boss of mine, one of the coolest rich people I've ever met. Like, he's one of these self-made millionaires who started on a farm in podunk nowhere and just got into the automotive world and became a millionaire. Fat paid, very intelligent guy. I confused his name with Thomas Massey, the Kentucky senator, yesterday. So I want to clarify that. I'm not talking about my old boss. I'm talking about Thomas Massey, the Kentucky senator. But no, even he went on to some good stuff, but then he started to veer off into the weeds with just straight up personal attacks. I was of all the people who I thought was really going to get it and nail it home, it was Thomas. It was Massey. Because the day before he had talked about some of the stuff, but then he hits on the same victim list that everybody's hitting on. You release victims' names and their identities and you put them in. That to me is them beating up on something that looks a lot like corporate sabotage. Because what I was saying is that the DOJ has been so heavy-handed with their redaction pen. I mean, they've redacted everything. They've blanket redacted so much stuff that to think that they purposely and maliciously unredacted an entire list of victims' names and only redacted the lawyer's name off that one document, that doesn't even scream incompetence to me. That screams sabotage. Because as she was saying, she had 500 plus attorneys and reviewers combing through the documents, and the whole entire trend for the entirety of it has been over redaction. Not under redaction, over redaction. So much over redaction that they realized they blanket redacted every name of every woman, regardless of perpetrator or victim status. So it would be hard for me to believe that they purposely and maliciously decided to go through and one strip of files decide, you know what? It says victim list, but we just got so much to do. We'll come back to it. We'll deal with it later. No, I think that they redacted that document as well, but somebody who's not just a bad actor, but a villain actor. They're like the guy or the person in the movie that is doing the sabotaging for the villain. It's making the good guys look bad. It's like the climbing of the conflict to the climax and resolution. That's what it looked like to me. It looked like something that was done to purposely sabotage and discredit any believability of those files. And the fact that everybody just kept hitting on it and hitting on it. And that goofy retard looking chick and her smashed puppy dog looking face sitting there, you need to turn around and apologize to people. As if it was her hand. It's like, you know what? Unredact that. That says victim list, but unredact that. We're going to release that one as is. As if she was the one that perpetrated that. She couldn't even if she knew the answer to that question, she wouldn't be able to answer that question because she wouldn't have known how it was possible for their over redactions to instantly become null and void redactions. And again, the evidence, it's so easy to push it off as it can't be corporate sabotage. We keep tight records of who's doing what and what and what and what, but they can't tell you who. They wouldn't even be able to tell you. They would be able to tell you. These are the people we enlisted, and it's not going to be 500 people. They will not be able to track back on who all touched those documents during the redactions from the FBI and from the DOJ. Because remember, the FBI gave the DOJ these documents pre-redacted. Massey said it, and Rokana said it. They both had said, because they raised the question during that time when Massey and Rokana went in there, they had names and batch numbers that they were already going after because they wanted to see who these people were. The stuff about the torture, the stuff that brought Les Wexner in there, because one of the things that I did love that Massey did was he had his board up there and he instantly redacts two faces. One of them's a woman and one of them's Les Wexner. And Les Wexner is on a correspondence for perpetrators. This is a co-conspirators list that Les Wexner pops up on prime suspect number 1. And it made me think, duh, they're going to try to keep Wexner's name off that. They're still throwing his name up on every building in Columbus right now. Like, Les Wexner's name is continuing to be put up on every building. They're arguing against, oh, well, you're going to destroy all the things he's done. But if he's done everything bad for this city and this state, then he doesn't need to, then it is all bad. It is all bad. It was all done in bad faith. So his name, his legacy, his everything involving him needs deleted from Earth. And it makes me really question, because my dad and me and my brother, maybe it was just me, but when I was young, my dad met Leslie Wexner. My dad used to work for the Limited brand way back in the day. And I would say without being too young to know, I probably have been to Les Wexner's home. My dad told me the story years ago that when he used to work for the Limited brand, he was invited to the Wexner house. I just called it a bunch of BS. Like, whatever. My dad just telling stories. But then you find out that Les Wexner's a pedophile, and you're like, wait a second. I was a child. I was a child when my dad told me this story, saying that he was invited to Les Wexner's house. And I pay no mind from them. Like, there's no way. There's no way. But it's just weird. It's just weird that my dad has a story of meeting Les Wexner back around the time that I was like infantile. So who knows? My dad could have actually met Les Wexner, and they had planned to kidnap and eat me. They could have been planning to kidnap and eat me as a baby. No, Ohio State will not take his name down. They will not. They will fight for him till Ohio State gets sued out of existence for their hand and all. You gonna let me get all your nuggets up, dude? And then clean up your terror to my carpet? I'm gonna have to put something there. My dude's left me a bunch of treats underneath my desk, but I can't get to him because he's over here currently doing his curtain calisthenics. But yeah, Ohio State won't mess with anything with his name on it because they still want his money. They know that if they were to take his name off of everything, if they were to shun him and pretty much blackball him, then the person that's going to be taking over to run that organization and then continue to do what Wexner was involved in, they'll pull everything from Ohio State. And Ohio State will lose that funding even from the next person that's going to take over. Because it's not going to crush his organization or his legacy. All it's going to do is push it off to somebody else. So I'm so much better than Wexner. I'll take over and I'll make sure that everybody who's done any of these crimes are held accountable. I will do that. I will do what America should have been doing from the beginning. You'll get them. We'll get them. They'll be stepping up here soon. Which is going to be hilarious. We're going to start seeing it. And toward May, when we get toward the primary again, as the primaries start coming back around, we're gonna start seeing I am nothing like my predecessor. I am so much better. Please do not ruin this massive organization that this predecessor used child sex trafficking money to build. Don't pay attention to that. We're going to be so much better. We're going to do everything better. It's going to be better. You won't even remember them. That's what it's going to be. We're going to get a bunch of bad actors taking the place of previous bad actors. Nothing's going to change. Nobody's going to be held accountable. It's all going to be hidden. I mean, the 2008 housing market crash, all those guys got promoted to federal government. They went from private sector robbery to federal robbery. So nothing's going to happen to these people. They're considered the only reason the world survives. They're the only reason America is America and survives as America. So nothing's going to happen to these people. Nothing at all. They're just gonna be able to do whatever they've been doing. They're just gonna change their language, speak differently, buy a new island, and eat different children. I mean, they're still gonna kidnap, rape, and torture American women, but that's because they don't care about American women. They don't have to worry about American women hiding themselves behind drapes and curtains. So they won't really care much that American women are getting snatched up and murdered and raped at a large numbers. All right, buddy. I'm gonna get your stuff. I need to get his nuggets out from under my desk. Give me a second. Let me get your nuggets, man. Let me get your nuggets. Perfect. Like I get visitors. Carpet. Can't be chewing on the carpet, man. I got money for no carpet replacement. Play mood. In the mood to play. Dude's he's in play mode. He knows I'm gonna be leaving for class here soon, so he's trying to get it in because he knows when I get back I'm gonna go back to this and he's gonna get like pieces of play and he's like a little toddler, cracks me the hell up. You can kind of see him right here. Oh, wrong side. Right there. Right there. Dude's he's a psychopath. You'll see him running like back and forth. He speed runs his energy reserves. It cracks me the hell up. Cracks me up when he speed runs his energy. Yeah, now you can see him like see his thing moving right there. But no, as you can see the shoes around my whole apartment. I have all of my shoes set up at the edges. I don't have enough shoes to get all of the edges, but I have enough shoes to get most every single one of the edges around my apartment to where he's not chewing on the edges of the carpet. And he does it because the people who laid the carpet are bad at it and they left a bunch of the edges exposed. And they're not actually tucked under the trim board like it should be. So he goes after him. He sees the bad carpet laying and he goes after it. There it is. So my little savior. I don't need God when I got that guy. He's been my little protector. All right. Well, about another hour before I gotta head off to the bus. You don't tell me to move, man. Oh, guy is like, he did that. He grabbed the tip of my sock and did that, trying to throw my foot out of the way. Like, dude, don't tell me to move my feet. Love you, bud. I love you. I love you. No, you ain't getting no treats. Actually, see what my Grendel looks like. Close we are. Oh, we're close. By the time I get back from class, I'll have my Grendel. I've been trying to build this frame for years. This is not an easy frame to get a hold of. If you buy the whole set, it's super expensive. I've been like happening to get a hold of the relics that contain the pieces. I think I went onto the market and bought the last piece that I needed, which was the cheaper of the pieces. So I'm finally able to build my Grendel. And I mean, to put it into perspective how rare this frame is, this recruiting tab, when people start to come online for the day, you'll see constant Grendel farm. And that's because people have still tried to this day, years later, to get this frame. This is a very, very rare and popular frame. One of the rarest frames used to be Volt. Volt used to be one of the rarest frames you can get because they vaulted it. Like if you say you had a relic with a Volt piece in it, you didn't run that relic. You held that relic until they unvaulted Volt, and then you ran that relic. That actually took me some years to get a hold of Volt. And I got a hold of Volt, and then finally they unvaulted Volt Prime, and I was finally able to get Volt. The Volt Prime. Because this is a very rare frame. The original 3 used to be rare frames, but that kind of changed. The original 3, which are Excalibur, Mag, and Volt. Those 3 original frames used to be really hard to get. But then, like, their roster exploded and they pretty much stopped vaulting them like they used to. They don't vault them for as long as they used to. They unvault them quite regularly now. Yeah, I've actually had a lot of these older frames. But I mean, I think it's stupid having to buy a character slot to get new frames. Kind of plays into the gacha game But yeah, I've been running with Gara. I really like Gara. Basically a glass wielder. Turns everything to glass. She creates a barrier that turns any enemy inside to glass, and then you use this to shatter them, or you can use this against the barrier to cause it to explode and deal 1,372 damage. But the barrier, when it gets attacked, it doesn't come down as a whole when a part of it's destroyed. It actually just breaks through part of that part. So this is, I really like this frame. Not to mention her helmet looks like Shredder. Like this one right here. Shredder helmet. But I really like this. This helmet is dope. Seeing as my emission and my I have my emissive and my energy set to white, which is why the glass pieces look like that. Got pointed dick. Yeah, you'll see when regular people start getting online, this goes into pretty much a Grindel farm main. I would say this being a gacha game through and through, it's not as grindy as other gachas. There's a lot of gachas that are very, very grindy. This isn't as grindy as other gacha games. Spend the rest of the time doing this little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine, this little light of mine. It is cool how they brought in the motorcycles, though. I loved when I first ran into that. That was one of the coolest things that I saw. I hate when they put that thing on over here because it's hard to find them.
Line them up and cut them down. We're half done. Teckle's proper pissed off. Hitters coming out of every nook and crook. I say, let them come.
It was a disappointing performance.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what's crazy is that you can actually your prime parts and your prime weapon parts, you can trade them with other players. That platinum, you don't have to spend real money on platinum. if you can get a hold of relics, crack the relics for some stuff that's worth platinum, you can. I haven't bought platinum in a long time. I just do the stuff that gets relics, crack the relics. Like, there are things that I look for in relics, but for the most part, I crack relics to sell them. I crack relics to sell the stuff inside and take the stuff inside. When I turn it into platinum, then I buy what I want. I go after stuff, but I'm not hard pressed on, oh man, I didn't get it. Oh, I'm gonna have to grind some more. I don't do that. There's no point to doing that. This game, everything that this game has, for the most part, you can get by playing it. It takes a bit of a grind to get a lot of the money stuff, the stuff that costs real money, but almost everything in the game you can get from within the game. You don't have to spend real money. And that's why I say, when it comes to the world of gacha games, this is the only one that pushes the envelope to the end of the table, but against gacha games. Like, this goes against the gacha code because it gives too much reward, too many rewards. It rewards you too much. Most gacha games aren't built to reward you. They're built to kind of punish you into continuing the grind. But not this one. And that's why I've come back to it since it came out. I mean, I've been playing this game since it was first released. That's how long I've been playing it. Like, I'm an OG, triple OG triple. Shit, I've used the same color scheme since then too. I just only over the recent years been able to get a hold of some of the palettes, the good palettes, like the actual black, the actual colors, because I really like the dulled out green and orange that I use.
Kalimos found the Legasite. Harvest it. It's on the move. It mustn't escape or we'll never find it again. And this mission will be a failure. Now consume the beast. It is done. Either flee to extraction now, or if you have it in you, ask Kalimos to find the next Legasite. Remember, the
What are you doing, man? I hear you.
Your next battle will be harder still.
Dude knows I'm about to be leaving, so he's gonna do everything he can to get me to play with him before I do leave.
Not everyone can sing or dance, and that's okay.
Find Kalimos. Let her know you're ready.
Nope, it's not any of those three.
Time you hit the showers.
Oh, he's chewing on books. Books and boxes. You're good, dude. Chew on the books and the boxes and the furniture. Don't chew on the carpet.
The full medical outfit. Do you think you can do more next time?
So we can, before I do leave, I am going to change over my antiviruses, since those three did not work. I got to change over my antiviruses. That one. That one. Oof. Yeah, I'm gonna have to use the restroom. So I'm probably gonna cut it a little bit short, because I gotta use the restroom. It's definitely that pizza. Definitely the pizza. So I'll be back in a few hours. So until then, peace out, Girl Scout.